Good morning, everybody. I finally have, I think, a whole day in the shop. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything, and I think tomorrow's will be the same way. So I've got a couple of full days. Maybe I can get some stuff caught up. Get started on a couple new projects. Update on Mama. I took her to the doctor, her appointment yesterday morning. Doctor told her to keep taking the meds that they gave her. And he added one more small little med. Or she did. It's a she doctor. But, and it should work its way out in the next several days. She has another appointment for 10 days from yesterday. Now, if it's not gone by then, she needs to go back, but the doctor seems to think it should be gone. Now, she's doing some better, but she's still not 100%. We went to the Wally World yesterday to pick up a few groceries. And she made it in there about 10-15 minutes and got to feeling bad, so we had to leave. But no, we got plenty of everything anyway, so we'll go to the store another day. And that's that. Now, we got a new tool in the shop. I mentioned I had put in a request to borrow a planer from a friend of mine. Got over there and he just donated it to the shop. How about that? It's a 12-inch planer. Now, this is I don't know what year it is, but it's pretty old. Very, very heavy. It's hard for me to move it by myself. But that is a fine tool right there. In my opinion, the older these type of tools are, the better they are. Because they were built better, I think. You got the belt number up there. It has had the belt replaced. Which, it seems to be fine now. Even though it hadn't been running a long time. To change it, you just take this panel here off, I believe, and it's right there. But all I did to it was cleaned it up some, blew the dust out of it. This wouldn't hardly move, so I oiled it up a little bit, just a little WD-40 and some 3-in-1, no big deal. The paint was chipped off of here and rusted pretty good, so I cleaned that off. I didn't go into great restoration detail on it. But I put a fresh coat of paint on there, which is still sticky from yesterday afternoon. The surface plate here, I cleaned it up good, put a coat of wax on it. So it's nice and slippery. And I can turn it with my hand and feel the blades. The blades feel very sharp. I can't feel any chips or anything out of them. I have plugged it in, it does work. So, yeah, see, we'll plug it in right quick. But now watch your ears because it is loud. Everything's spinning in there like it's supposed to. It's got the little chain. Let me unplug that before I stick my hand back in there. Duh. Little chain that turns the wheels, that pulls it through. All seems to be in good shape. So there we go. We have us a planer in the shop, which would really, really help on this rough cut lumber I use. Instead of spending an hour on the belt sander and the hand belt sander and then the finish sander. A couple of passes through here will take care of the most of it. Knock out some of that hand sander. There's the other side. Very, very cool. Now the next problem I have, sort of a problem, is where am I going to put it? I don't know. I'll figure out somewhere to put it temporarily. I'll just probably set it on the floor for right now because I've got some other things I've got to get done before I move back to this. And there's another new tool that I ordered. Will be here sometime today, and we'll see that. Another one I've always wanted. Tried to make one, but it works, but not like it should. And I'll surprise you with that in a few minutes. I always thought they were a few $100s a piece. And this one was less than $40, so surprised me. But and it should do what I need. So we'll see that in a little while. I'll be back. All right, continuing our setup for today. We're going to take this wood blade off of here. And I picked up a metal cutting blade. I was not going to use this saw for metal cutting, but instead of trying to get a different kind of saw and all that, it'll work just fine. This blade's still good. We'll keep it for. This is good to split wood with and resaw stuff like that. If I can get it out of here. I did not prepare so well before I turned the camera on. Hang on, I gotta get a wrench for that. Very tight quarters over here. I'm telling y'all, I need a bigger shop. Well, rephrase that, I would like to have a bigger shop. Now we're going to hang this one up over here. Hang on. Now the last metal blade, I had one on here before that didn't work too well, but it was a very, very thin blade. This is a 1/2 inch. 20 tooth. Because I'm not going to be cutting curves with this. It's mainly straight cuts. I think this will work. Let's see. Blow some of that dust out of there. That'll take a little bit of adjusting and finagling once I get it on there. Now, if this is boring, y'all just skip ahead. We got something pretty cool coming up here in a minute. My other new tool came in a little while ago. Let's see, let's take it on the bottom first. Have to loosen that up some more. There you go. Got it started on there anyway. Should turn the camera, you can see it, I guess. Alright, now let me get it adjusted in the guides and get the tracking right. And we'll see it again here in just a minute. Hang on, moving the camera. Alright, I think I got the tracking down right. Running pretty much in the center. Now this top wheel barely rubs up here. That's the noise, a little bit of noise. But I can't figure out how to fix that without taking it apart and bending it and all that, and I'm not going to try that. I can deal with a little bit of noise. So let's turn it on and see what happens. Got the blade guides adjusted down here. One here and one down there. Same size width blade as the other one, so it was pretty close already. So let's see if it'll go. Alright, that noise I think is the bottom. That roar noise, that little scrape is up here. Let's see if we can adjust that a little bit. Alright, got it all set up. It's still making that loud noise down from the bottom. I thought it was here, but it's not. It's coming from the bottom pulley. It sounds almost like a bearing. And to get to the bearing, you have to take the whole thing apart. Now, don't see how it could be a bearing, because this saw hadn't been used much. Even though I've had it a couple of years, still hadn't used it that very much. But I did try to bend the top out a little bit and got some of that noise gone. But we'll just blade seems to be running straight and true, so we'll just run it until it quits, if it ever does. Tolerate the noise, and then we'll fix it. It's here, it's here, it's here. What did I get this time? Like I mentioned, this is one of those tools I've wanted for a long time. That never works. I thought they were out of reach on price, but they're not. $39.95, Amazon. I will leave a link down below where I got this. I still have my Amazon affiliation. I just don't talk about it much. So I've had it this time over a year, and I think I made $4 off of it, so it's not really worth all the hoopla about it. Now this is not the big one, this is a smaller version, but it'll do what I need to do, I think. Ultrasonic cleaner. I did think it was bigger than this, but I'll show you what I'm going to do with it here in a minute. What I want to use it for. Yeah, that is not nearly as big as I thought it was, but that's okay. For the price, it'll work. Okay, we've got a couple of baskets here. There's the power cord. Now these things are pretty straightforward. There we go. Let's break it right off the bat. There we go. I have to read the book to see. Plugs in there. Now, the reason I want this, hang on, I'll show you. A lot of restoration jobs, I get some pocket knives like these. That's a bigger one there. That'll fit. Once you get them polished, cleaned up and all that, and before you even start, I think it's a good idea to get them clean. There's gunk all down in here, down in there, that I can never get out by hand. It always leaves a little bit. So I believe like that. We'll give a good clean, and then once you buff it with compound and all that to polish it, that compound needs to come off, and I think this will do it. Now this is a big old, now these have not been done yet. I'll get to them next week, I think. That's a big old honking knife right there. I have not researched these, not quite sure what they are, brand names and all. That says United GR Michigan maybe, I don't know. But anyway, that one will fit in there. And a lot of times I have little small things like that that need to be cleaned. So there we go. We'll give that a try here in a few days. Like I said, I really thought it was bigger than that. And they make bigger ones. So if we ever need one, maybe we'll get one of them later on. There we go. Now these, they sell all kinds of cleaners to go in them. But I've seen people use Evapo-Rust in them. I've seen regular dish detergent, like Dawn dish detergent that cuts grease. Mean green cleaner, that type of thing. Any kind of cleaner I think will work in there. But there we go. There is the newest addition besides the planer and the wood planer. Thank you, sir, very much for that. I really thank you for that. That is a great addition to the shop. And we're just gonna throw all this stuff away. No sense in keeping it. And I'll read through this a little bit before I use it. Make sure I know what I'm doing. Now, let's see. I think that'll do it for today. Bandsaw blade is on. All that's set up right. I showed y'all the planer. We showed y'all this. It's only halfway through today, so now I've got to cut a little bit of steel and let's get started on some knives. Then we'll build a couple more stands before the weekend's over. Those display stands. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you very much for your support. And I will see y'all next time.